It's the NFL on EA Sports. And the question is, are you ready for some football? It's the boys and the 49ers. Next on Madden NFL 23.
From the host to Super Bowl 50 back in February of 2016, there's a look at the home of the 49ers, Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara. Today, we've got a good NFC matchup on tap between the Dallas Cowboys and the San Francisco 49ers. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
It's the team of the 80s versus the team of the 90s. The Niners, the Cowboys, they're underway. And we will not get a run back here to start. It's a touchback, and it will come out to the 25. So here are the Cowboys now ready to go on offense for the first time. And they will be led out by their 6'4" quarterback.
You almost feel privileged, partner, every time you get to see him run out in the field to start a game, because every game, every snap, you and I both know he has potential to do something special, and that inspires his teammates as well. They know how incredible he is. They want to give max effort as well.
A first down carry for Smith. He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31.
Now, Brandon, that's the way you want to run the football. There should almost be quote bubbles above the offense right now. Bam, boom, biff. That's how they feel good about moving the football.
They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. To throw is Aikman. And he's got his man in stride, complete. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
Smith up the middle. And he'll manage to pick up about 4 at 2nd down.
Well, the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back there and feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run, but the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you start to feel good about yourselves.
On 2nd down, Aikman. It's caught by Bryant. And some room to run now. And this will move the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the 49ers 39. 17 yards on the catch and run. It's a first down.
Well, I think when they look at their offense, they think to themselves, weapons, weapons everywhere. And they want to move the ball around. They want to spread it to different people. But you absolutely know they want to get this man involved as well, and that's what they just did on that play.
So from inside Niner territory now, this is 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. Now Aikman. And that is caught on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. The throw took him a little too far. It's 2nd down.
Well, they've been back on their heels a little bit here in this drive, but a chance to exhale just a little bit there with incompletion on 1st down. Now they have to gear up, try and get 2 more stops, and escape this drive.
Out of the gun, it's Aikman. And that is incomplete.
The defender certainly didn't forget about him leaking out of the backfield. There was a guy ready and waiting to pick him up in coverage, and that throw had no shot.
Here comes the 7th play of this opening drive. They've moved it well, but here's 3rd down. Now it's Aikman. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. And unable to connect. Incomplete. Now give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
An early message that this secondary is going to be tested, because even though it fell incomplete, it almost felt like a warning shot to get things going.
So coming on now is the field goal unit. They're going to try for 3, and he'll need all the leg he's got here. This will be from 56 yards out. And his kick is good. He got every bit of that one, as it's good from 56 yards out. And the Cowboys are going to jump out to a 3-0 lead. They were probably hoping to get him a little bit closer for a shorter field goal, but he was able to get it done from deep.
Nice little tester for him to begin things, huh? I think he was open for a little bit more of a chip shot. Instead, they made him stretch it out a little bit, but he's got to feel great now that he put it through the pipes.
Now, after the field goal, Bailey will kick it away. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line, as he's dropped at the 23. So here's the first drive now for the 49ers. And led out by their veteran quarterback. He's been around a while. They don't celebrate birthdays for him. They just cut him up, see how many rings he's got around the middle. He has been in the league a long time.
His ability to adjust on the fly is almost unmatched in the game right now, because it leads to a couple of snaps per game where you just sit back and ask yourself, how did he pull that off? Opponents can practice and prepare each and every week all they want, but this guy, he is hard to corral.
First and 10 for Montana and company. He finds his man, complete. It's Craig. So the completion gets him just a yard, and that will bring up 2nd down.
I know it was a gain, but you have to sense probably a little bit of disappointment there, because when it's out there in open space, I think they expect to get more out of a play, don't you?
Especially when you're getting it to your guy out of the backfield. You're expecting him to be able to create something, be a little more shifty.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Good open field tackling held it to an okay gain.
Now here's a little touch pass as they tap it quickly to their receiver. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. That one covers 24 yards. It's a 1st down. But just a simple tap pass, but it pays off in a big way.
And sometimes the simple stuff causes the most problems for a defense, because there's a breakdown in communication there. When that receiver goes behind the line of scrimmage and it looks like he's going in motion, someone either has to go with him or he has to be passed off to another defender. Somehow they didn't get that communicated well, and it turned into a nice play.
Montana's throw going to be caught by Davis. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. That's back-to-back plays of over 20 yards.
Well, first drive here and the first time that we've called the big tight end's name, but I can assure you this, Charles, it won't be the last.
No, it won't, because when he gets going, now it opens up opportunities on the perimeter, because that'll draw the defense towards him in the middle of the field. Now your wide receivers will get involved as this game goes on.
So from Cowboy territory now, here's 1st and 10 at the 27. Montana. And this will be well too low for him to bring in. It's incomplete.
And not a common sight, at least on this drive. A momentary setback, though, for this passing game that has been moving well this series. Good thing for them, though. Still 2 more downs to connect and try and pick up another first down.
2nd and 10 now from the 27. They will look to throw. Montana. Right side, that's complete to Clark. Down he goes at the 23, a pickup of 4. There the Cowboys here on 3rd down, bringing in an extra defensive back. They'll look to throw again. And he hauls it in the end zone. Touchdown, San Francisco. 23 yards for the touchdown. And the Niners are able to answer the early 3 points and take a first-quarter lead.
But Charles, here in their opening series, they said they had certain plays scripted for certain players. That looked like a well-designed play to get one of their top targets involved.
Yeah, let's face it, Brandon. A player of his talent is a problem for any opponent to defend, and we saw it right there. They tried to deny an open lane to him. He still outplayed the coverage and scored the early touchdown. Good luck trying to figure out how to defend him as this game moves on.
Gold with the extra point, and that makes it a 7-3 lead. The 49ers ready to kick it away, and here we go. And he'll just take a seat, and the drive will begin at the 25-yard line. Second drive forthcoming here for the Dallas Cowboys. Last time out, you remember their drive stalled, but thanks to their kicker, booted a long field goal to at least get them 3. Now here they'll try to do better and find the end zone.
And in our experience, how much fun is it for coaches to know that they've got a kicker who can nail it from long distance? Now, the hard part is, as an offensive play caller, you don't want that in your head too much where you're relying on it, and he goes out and gets the job done for them. But I'm quite sure he would be content to just kick extra points from here on out.
Yeah, absolutely no question. I think his teammates would be okay with him just kicking the extra points as well.
And the first play of the drive there is incomplete.
That was a classic example of trying to run with the ball without securing the catch. He was thinking about those rack yards instead of making the catch first and then taking off.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Aikman operating from the gun. And this is caught by Witten, the tight end. And he's upended at the 33 following a good pickup of 8.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
An extra DB for the 49ers now on 3rd. Here's Aikman setting to throw it. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Pearson. And he will have a Cowboys first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on 3rd and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the first down.
Handoff, running left, Smith. And down he goes at the 49, a 3-yard pickup.
Look, all any running back wants is a little bit of room, a little bit of space in order to maneuver. But he also understands how difficult it is for his offensive line up front. So if they give him any space, he realizes his job to make more out of it than what they give him. Picks up 3 on that carry.
On second down, here's Smith again. And he's got this one across midfield into 49er territory.
Well, at that rate, picking up 3 yards a carry, you and I both know that doesn't cut it in this league and trying to get first downs unless you're playing 4-down football. Then that's a whole different situation, but I don't think that's what they're trying to do here. 3rd and 4, though, is still manageable.
In search of 4 yards here to pick up the first down.
From the shotgun, Aikman. He finds his man, complete. It's Pearson. And this will move the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the 49ers' 34-yard line. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space, and it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Play action. It's Aikman. He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
Almost feels like anything you can do, we're going to try and match or do better. We've already seen 1 touchdown pass from the opposition. They tried to equal it on that throw.
From the 34, they'll come to the line on 2nd and 10. Aikman will throw. And the Niners get there and bring him down. That winds up pushing him back 11 yards on the sack. And that'll bring up 3rd.
Now that's a heck of a moment for your first sack of the game, because if this long drive ends without a touchdown because of that sack, we're going to look back and say that might be one of the biggest plays of this contest.
Ninth play of the drive now on 3rd and a country mile. They'll set up to throw. Oh, and this ball's tipped and intercepted.
Well, Brandon, there's no question who they're going to look to on 3rd and long, but you can bet this defense knows that as well, so they've got him blanketed downfield. And this ball winds up being intercepted.
Back out there comes the 49ers offense, ready for their second drive.
This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways, because you know they're both motivated, they both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
On first down, it's Gore. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. No gain on the play there. 2nd down.
Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description, because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
On 2nd down, Montana. Hit as he throws there, incomplete.
But he certainly didn't like what he saw at all from the coverage on his primary reads, and he didn't even have any luck trying to get back to his safety valve. Give defense a credit. Coverage was in lockdown mode everywhere.
An incomplete pass on 2nd down. That muddles things a little bit here. This is 3rd and 10. To throw is Montana. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Craig. And they will rally and stop him short of the first down. They get him to the ground at the 26. That one good for only 6, and it leaves him with a 4th down.
And that's a play that's not uncommon on 3rd and long, because the offense is just hoping that somehow They can get a guy in space and follow some blockers downfield. Does a pretty nice job there getting a few yards, but he ends up getting stopped before he can get the first down.
Here comes the 49ers punter now, as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. Fielded at about the 28. It'll go as a 42, make it a 43-yard punt, 6 on the return.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. Dallas offense set for this next drive. As the offense comes out here, Charles, remember they threw the interception last time out, but they were moving the football down the field. Looked like they were going to have a sustained drive that ended in points, but then the pick ensued.
And because of that, there's no way you can call the last drive a success. Yes, there are things to build on because they found some play calls at work. Now, they've got to build another drive and find a way to avoid the turnover that plagued it on the last one.
They'll start on the ground here on 1st down. And he'll rumble for about 5, up close to the 40.
Brandon, 5 yards on that run. Let's get back to the huddle and make sure if you're a back, you spend time with your offensive line and give them credit. Hard to move those 300-plus pounders at the line of scrimmage, and they did for a significant chunk of yardage.
Now Aikman looking to throw. Going right side, he has Winton. A 5-yard pass on the heels of a 5-yard run. Good enough for the first.
Many different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to. Pick up a first down.
They go play action with Aikman. He finds Smith out of the backfield. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. And just 3 yards on the catch there. He couldn't get away. And it'll be 2nd down. A good way there to have him bounce back from the interception last drive. Something underneath, a little bit of rhythm going.
I know the best ones in the league have supreme confidence, but every now and then you need a little booster, don't you? This is their way of protecting him and bringing him back, and then they'll turn him loose later, I would think.
Goes right back to Smith again. And they're going to get this to about the 44-yard line.
We often talk about understanding the playbook, understanding progressions, and understanding what the defense is doing. We saw all of that on that play. Great recognition and understood where his running back was going to be. Found a way to have him leak out underneath, hit him with the football, and they picked up the first down.
Up the middle they go with Dorsett. And he's going to get stopped up quickly. Give him a yard down to the 43.
Yeah, things were pretty stacked up there in the middle of the line. A lot of bodies, not much space. I think ultimately he was fortunate to get anything out of that run.
Now it's 2nd and 9.
Again, it'll be Dorsett. Ooh, with a juke. And he's taken down inside the 30. 14 yards, good for a Cowboy first down.
We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
On play action, Aikman. He's going to take a shot for the end zone.
And this ball incomplete. Looked very much to be a catchable ball and could not hang on. 2nd down coming up.
Coverage was very good that time. A nice job to smother him as the ball arrived, and that ensured an incomplete pass.
And it keeps 6 points off the board. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. And they hand it off to Dorsett. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. 9 yards, and that leaves him just short, so it'll be 3rd and less than a yard. after one. 7-3 the score on EA Sports. Start of the second quarter, and it's the Cowboys in possession as they've got it with a third down and less than a yard. They'll look to throw here. Over the middle, it's complete. And the Cowboys are going to be set up with a first and goal as they get the conversion there on 3rd and inches.
A field goal helps, but a touchdown gets you the lead. That had to be the message transmitted in the huddle. And they delivered there as that throw is going to keep the drive alive. And even better than that, set them up with a first and goal.
They'll try to run it in, going option right. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. No gain there as he kept it himself at second down.
Well, for that being an option play, there really weren't too many options available for him, were there?
No, there weren't, and at least he was able to get back to the line of scrimmage, so they didn't lose anything, but you're exactly right. Nowhere to go.
On the give, this is Dorsett. And same result. He's going to take this just to the line of scrimmage before running into a brick wall. No gain on the play there. They're going to need to come up with something better here on 3rd and goal.
Big play coming here. It's 3rd and goal.
Looking to throw. And Bryant has got it. Touchdown, Cowboys. It's a 6-yard touchdown pass.
And the Cowboys are able to move back in front.
And in the red zone, I guess this is why you have a guy like that on your roster.
Without a doubt, and if you have him, you use him because he's a guy who's going to win just about every time. I don't care what the coverage is.
The call is to go for one and kick the extra point. And it's through, and that makes the lead 10-7. That one in the books as a 12-play drive, and it culminates in a Dallas touchdown. Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown.
Taking it about the 1. And he had no room to run as he's tackled down inside the 20. The 49ers ready to set up shop again offensively. And Charles, a very uninspired effort the last time we saw them out there. It was a quick 3 and out, then they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
On first down, Montana connects with Kittle underneath. Short completion, just 4 yards, and that'll bring up second down.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
To throw again on second down, Montana. And the Cowboys pressure gets there this time for the sack. They overload him that time with a safety blitz, and he winds up being dropped for a loss of 7. Oh, free safety blitz, that can be a gamble, but it proves fruitful there.
Yeah, you're exactly right about the gamble because oftentimes the free safety is the last line of defense against a long pass. And when he comes at the quarterback, he'd better get home and make the play. Otherwise, a big play could result for the offense.
And not an easy spot here. They'll be in search of 13 yards to try to pick up the first.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. On the crossing route, that's complete to Clark. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. A big play there as they get the conversion on 3rd and 13.
That's a play that will likely be forgotten when you talk about big moments in this game. But plays like this are critical to keep drives going. And if points result, we'll call this play significant.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Now Montana. There's Clark. He's got him again. And that'll be good for 8 yards to the 45.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
Only needing 2 yards on 2nd down.
They run with Gore out of the shotgun. And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. 2 yards, good enough for a first.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
A couple of first downs on the drive already, as they'll go from the 47 now on 1st down. Here's Montana to throw.
And that is knocked away in the middle of the field and incomplete.
This could be the start of a nice stand from this defense now after getting walked backwards on this drive. Come through with another one here, and you have them staring at a 3rd and long, and that puts the defense in a position to dictate to the offense.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Up the middle they go with Gore. And he's got this one across midfield into Cowboy territory.
So it's the big left tackle who gets tagged with a hold.
And sometimes you're actually executing the block well, and he starts to slip off of you, and instinctively you reach out and grab him. And when it's done like that, it's often seen by the official and called.
Montana's throw pulled in by Kittle.
Just a gain of a couple there. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long.
That was an okay hook up there with his tight end, but unfortunately, they didn't get the kind of yards they had hoped for. That's going to bring up 3rd down.
A long way to go here on 3rd down for the 8th play of the drive. They'll drop to throw. That's going to be caught by Samuel. And they'll bring him down right at midfield, and he is well short of the 1st down. They pick up 10, but it'll still lead to a 4th down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the 1st down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
Here comes the 49ers punter now. He'll boot it away from about his 35. And he gets it away, a directional kick going toward the sideline. And this one's out of bounds. Should be inside the 10, I think it is. At the 6-yard line. So well done there. And these punters, they get more specialized and better each and every year, don't they?
They sure do. And now, it's really not the American punters. It's the Australian punters with their kicking academies and that flat drop and just kind of kicking the nose of the football. They're able to almost stop it where they want to, like a good golfer can check one up.
Now Aikman on first down. Being chased out left. And he'll just get rid of it.
Oh, that's good decision-making right there. Understood down and distance. Knew it wasn't third down, and he still had another opportunity to earn the first down. Good job throwing it away and avoiding an interception.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Inside handoff, Smith. And he'll find a little space. He gets us up near the 10. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a third down.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
The Cowboys on third down. They've converted 4 times out of 6. Not bad. This will be 3rd and 6. Got a man, and he hits him in stride.
And he will have a Cowboys first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
First down, here's Aikman. Toward the right sideline, but it's incomplete.
I think he could have scanned downfield forever, but there wasn't anything available. Ends up throwing an incompletion, and I think he'll take that.
From the 24, they'll go again on 2nd and 10. Now it's Aikman. Over the middle, complete. That's Pearson. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tougher, guys trying to get to the football.
Aikman going to throw again. They'll set up the screen to Smith. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. Give him the third down conversion, 5 yards on the play.
But they certainly made a point of getting him involved in the passing game here in the first half. They must have seen something in the scouting that said, hey, we can capitalize on him getting the ball possibly in the open field. And I think in the second half, that may loosen up the defense a little bit to get the running game going back inside.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Off the play fake, here's Aikman. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he'll go out of bounds, it looks like right at the 40.
He's a rookie, and you don't want to get hung up on the word potential. But when you see him make catches like that, you keep thinking to yourself, he's good now. He's got a chance to be great with plenty of work.
Looking to throw again here, Aikman. Left side, it's Dorsett. So just 3 yards on the completion there. And now 1 yard to go on third down.
And that's a good job there by the corner. We do talk about this a lot, that a lot of corners see their job as simply covering receivers. Tackling isn't everyone's thing. But in this case, he came up quickly and made a nice, sure tackle.
On 3rd and 1, it's Aikman. He rifles one that's intercepted. And the 49ers are going to take over a couple of yards shy of midfield. You don't see this often. A quarterback of his caliber, 2 first-half interceptions.
It's absolutely surprising because it happens so rarely. You're searching for what reason, what's going on out there. It's not just maybe the defense is playing well. Is his horoscope off? His biorhythms? What is it?
You went horoscope on us, David.
Well, I was thinking maybe REM sleep was off. I'm trying to come up with something.
Anything, right? Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10, just shy of midfield at the 48. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And he's got this one across midfield into Cowboy territory. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. He wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
On 2nd down now, it's Craig, and he's going to be stopped up at about the 47-yard line. 2 yards the gain there, and now they're left with a 3rd and about 4 for a first.
Well, they didn't get a whole lot out of that one, but I think you've got to continue to try and run and try and keep the defense honest.
You mean or else they'll just sit back, dare you to throw it on every down?
Yeah, you get your quarterback hit a lot that way, too.
Montana. He finds his man, complete. It's Craig. And he is going to have a 49ers first down. They needed 5 there on 3rd down. He winds up getting 7.
I'm not sure that was necessarily a safety valve or a check down throw on 3rd down. Sometimes just try and find the open guy and get him the ball. He did exactly that and found a way to pick up a first down.
First and 10 for Montana and company. He finds his man, complete. That's Perry.
And he'll be hauled down at about the 30-yard line.
Two minutes remaining in the first half. 10-7, our score. We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes' time, we'll hand you off to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman will have highlights and analysis of this first half of action. Now a toss left side into the hands of his tight end. And he's going to be out, down inside the 20 at the 15. The Niners passing game in sync now. They've got another first down.
A lot of tight ends just use their size and their strength, try to occupy some space and kind of body people away and catch the football. But not this guy. He's a refined route runner. Makes me wonder if he took some dance classes in his background with his footwork.
Line of scrimmage, the 15. It's 1st and 10.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw.
Now, quick throw there, going to be batted away and incomplete.
They're putting together a drive here in the final minutes of the half, but the coverage has been tight all game long, and they certainly want to keep them off the scoreboard here.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Play action. It's Montana. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
On that snap, he's the hero of his defense after the play he just made. A one-possession game, and his hit kept it exactly that.
Here comes the 8th play of the drive, and they need a full 10 yards on 3rd down. Operating out of the gun, here's Montana. And that's going to be knocked away in the end zone. It's incomplete.
Give them credit for excellent coverage, tight coverage. They're doing a lot of things that we talk about in basketball. They're causing disruptions in the passing game. And as long as that continues, it'll be tough for them to gain any momentum throwing the ball downfield.
Robbie Gould on now to try the field goal. From the left hash, just a 32-yard attempt. The kick by Gould is good, and that will knot us up at 10.
So the defense able to force the interception, and the offense working their way to field goal range and able to get 3 out of it.
Yeah, and give them credit for that. They took the ball, maneuvered it downfield, and while they couldn't get exactly what they wanted, which was a touchdown, they did get 3 points out of it, so they paid off what the defense gave them. Both sides will be thrilled with that.
All level now at 10 apiece as the kick's away. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And they'll get him down right at the 25-yard line, so the same result, had he opted for the touchback. And now Dallas gets set to take the field.
So now, Charles, this drive maybe a touch more important, trying to erase the memory of that interception they had the last time out.
Yeah, and everyone goes through this because even the best in the game, you're going to have games where it just doesn't go right for you, and interceptions result. So, frankly, to me, it's all about how you respond, not just the types of plays that you call, but how you carry yourself, how you show your team that you're still with it, and how you continue to lead.
Now a throw right side taken in here to start this drive. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first.
Well, this is where reading defenses and practice time comes into play. You've got to know what you're running versus zone versus man and how to run the proper route. And they just executed that one pretty well.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Now Aikman looking to throw. He finds his man, complete. That's Pearson. Now the Cowboys going to burn the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. A good gain on first has him set up with second and just a couple of inches now from the 29. To throw is Aikman. The quick throw knocked away. It's incomplete.
Quarterbacks work all the time on manipulating the defense with their eyes and their head movement. In this case, he just stared the receiver down. That allowed for excellent coverage, able to knock that one away.
An incomplete pass on second down leads us to 3rd and inches. Aikman will throw. They dump it off, complete to Dorsett.
And he will have a Cowboys first down, as that'll be a pickup of about 5 as they convert on 3rd and inches.
Now Aikman. Complete to Dorsett.
And he's going to be taken down at about the 33.
Not only did we just see back-to-back nice gains, but we're also seeing the confidence rise, not just for the guy who caught it, but the guy throwing it as well.
And these back-to-back catches here out of the backfield, that can set something up downfield in a later sequence, right?
A lot of the time, it starts to draw the defense closer to the line of scrimmage. So to your point, show this swing pass, show this check down. Maybe later on, you heave one deep when you catch him close to the spot.
That's going to be complete on the sideline, but, you know, that throw left him no room to run, and the good footwork nearly all for naught. It'll go as a gain of 4, and it's 2nd down.
Let's make this one simple. What a catch, especially the finishing part of getting his feet in bounds, toe tapping, and, of course, foot dragging.
A little tapestry, if you will.
Oh, I like it.
Again, it's Aikman. Letting one go deep for the end zone. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there, trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
He certainly had a good game throwing the ball so far, but I think he was trying to take that from good to great with that throw, trying to get one downfield.
They got to get to the 23 here on 3rd. Here's Aikman setting to throw it. And this is caught by Witten, the tight end. Now a signal and a timeout call as it comes with 9 seconds to go in this first half of play. So now on 4th down, Mike McCarthy will turn to his field goal unit. He connected on his first, this from 41. And his kick is indeed good, and they will take the lead at 13-10. So they're content to take the 3. Somewhat of a conservative call there, opting not to go for it on 4th and inches.
And that's from a team that you and I know is not usually playing it close to the vest. It's a little bit of a surprise that they opted for the 3 instead of going for it.
So time enough for a kickoff here. 5 seconds remaining in this first half. This will be fielded inside the 5. And beyond the 20, but not by much. In fact, just a yard pass there to the 21. The final second ticks by, and that's going to do it for the first half of play. So we've hit halftime. Just a field goal separating these two teams at the break. As we'll send you back over to Orlando with our EA Sports Halftime Report, here's Jonathan Coachman.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much, and welcome in everyone to our downtown Orlando studios and this EA Sports Halftime Report. First, though, let's get a check on the next-gen stats from that first half for the Cowboys. And they've had plenty of success throwing the football so far this afternoon, as they're on pace to throw for over 300 yards if their form holds. Meanwhile, for the Niners, they too were able to take advantage of a soft secondary, as both of these two teams really threw the ball at will in that first half.
All right, Coach, thanks. Yeah, both teams likely to make some changes in what's been a closely fought battle to this point. The 49ers going to have the football and trailing on the scoreboard as we get back underway on EA Sports. This fielded right at the goal line. And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18. The 49er offense set to go to begin quarter number 3. This offense, Charles, had a strong first half throwing the football, at least in terms of yardage, but that hasn't translated so far on the scoreboard as they begin the third quarter here, trailing and looking for a little momentum.
Yeah, you're right about that because, let's face it, in the first half, most of their focus was in the passing game. And to their credit, resulted in a healthy amount of yardage. So I would think that at halftime, they're going to anticipate that defense loosening up a little bit to try and cover the passing lanes. They've got to get the running game going, and there should be some gaps to run through now.
And he'll maneuver his way forward for about 4. 2nd and 6.
Nice chunk of yards on first down. It really opens up your options for what you want to do on second. You go right back to him and hope he explodes, or sucker the defense in before throwing over the top.
From the 22, Montana connects with Kittle underneath. So the completion good for 6 yards, and they'll be faced with a 3rd and inches.
They really love to get him into one-on-one opportunities, and this is one way. Work him out of the slot and create a mismatch. Who's going to cover him? Corner, safety, linebacker? He's got a way to beat all of those positions.
They'll try and pick up the first with Gore. He's not going to get there. That won't even be close. It was blown up in the backfield. Losing 2 yards that time, and now it's 4th down.
This defense is just flat getting after it. They have not given up much of anything in the run game. Case in point right there.
Here comes the 49ers punter now as he's on to kick it away.
pulled in at the 24. And 9 yards there on the return following a punt of 47. The Cowboys offense now, they head out for their first possession of the second half.
Let's ride, dog. Do your thing.
They couldn't ask for much more to this point in the second half. A gorgeous day, one-score game. 1st and 10 here.
They begin with a run by Smith. A little juke. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And he gets this to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out.
49 yards now on the ground on just 7 carries.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
A handoff, Dorsett up the middle, and nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. He'll look to throw. Going right side, he has Witten.
And they're going to get this down to about the 37. Well, that's always a good place to throw it, just because he's one of the biggest targets not only on this team but in the National Football League.
And you and I both know the quarterbacks love these large-body tight ends, and why not? Nowadays, they're really wide receivers who are just taller and have a little bit more weight. These guys catch the football, make big plays downfield. In the old days, we wanted them to block. Now coaches want them to catch the football first.
And this will move the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the 49ers' 24-yard line. 13 yards and a first down, Cowboys.
Did you see that route the way that I did? I thought he was trying to get deep.
Yeah, that
first.
wasn't the first option.
No, it came off of that guy, the deep guy, and came underneath on the drag, completed it very well.
Looking to pass, Aikman on first down. This little short throw to Witten.
And he'll be marked down right at the 20-yard line.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
Now Aikman to throw on second down. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. They'll wind up losing a full 9 yards here on the sack. Now it's third down.
They've gobbled up over 30 yards of turf so far, but a sack knocks them backwards. And that interrupts the momentum they were building. Good opportunity for the defense to escape this drive before they get to the end zone.
Seventh play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on third down. Looking to throw.
To the sideline, he's got the catch, and he kept the feet in bounds. Well done.
Boy, a nice play there as they wind up converting on 3rd and 15.
Whenever we talk about moving the sticks and controlling the football, there's a great example right there. Those are the third downs you need to convert to win football games. We're in the third quarter of this one, and this is a tight one. In order to maintain pace, keep the ball away from the other team, and put points on the board, those are the plays they need to continue to convert.
Kyle Shanahan doesn't care much for that last call, so out comes the red challenge flag. Did he keep those feet in bounds? That's the question they've got to decide. And I got to say, watching it in real time, it was awfully close.
Yeah, it certainly looked like a heck of a catch because he didn't appear to bobble it, which could complicate things. But even with the benefit of replay, that's pretty tight.
Well, here's the call.
So the decision to challenge does not pan out, and that's also going to cost him a timeout. So not quite a first and goal. It's 1st and 10 from the 10.
Aikman operating from the gun. And he's got his man in stride, complete. Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and that'll make it 2nd down. They'll drop to throw. And that is caught. Touchdown, Cowboys. A 5-yard touchdown as his guys are able to extend their lead. That seemed pretty ideal there for the offense, Charles. You take a little bit of time off the clock here in the 3rd quarter, decent length drive, and you pad your lead as well at the end of it.
And what it does is let you feel like you're in control of this game, even more so than a 2-touchdown lead, right? Because you have taken that time off, as you noted, which means they couldn't get you off the field. You ran your playbook the way you wanted to, and you gave your defense some rest. What a big-time drive in that situation.
Point after, right down the middle. And his guys will take a 10-point lead. Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown.
From a yard or 2 deep, here comes a return.
And it's a pretty good return here, so get this up to the 29. The 49ers offense now, they get set to head back on the field.
The last series for him, a little disappointing, forced to punt. And now they'll try to do better here and come away with some points as they begin this drive, 1st and 10.
They'll start on the ground here on 1st down.
Up past the 30, 2nd down coming up.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
From the 31, Montana. And he will go down. A Cowboys sack. It'll go as a loss of about 6, and now it brings up 3rd.
So that time, Charles, quarterback helpless really in the pocket in the face of a pass rush like that. They were on him instantly.
Yeah, that's one where you turn to your lineman and say, guys, can I get a little help here? And you have to ask politely because, remember, they're blocking for you the entire game. But as a quarterback, you've also got to have the clock running in your head when you need to get rid of the football. But this time, he had no chance. They were on him instantly.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Going up top. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
I'm sure this isn't a novel thought, but maybe run some simpler routes instead of trying to get it all back in one shot. Defense certainly appears to be ready for them. Try and get it back little by little, instead of in big chunks.
Here comes the 49ers punter now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. This is taken at the 18.
And good work bringing that one back as he picks up about 16 on the return.
And now here come the Cowboys.
And as the offense begins another drive here, pretty simple, Charles. They want to carbon copy what happened the last time out when they ended their drive in the end zone.
You're right about that, partner. It sounds pretty simple, doesn't it? Just score again, but we know it's not that simple because we don't just make adjustments at halftime if you're a good football team. You spend that time on the sideline, you study what's on the notes and the tablets, and you make those adjustments, prevent a repeat of the last drive. Series to series, the best teams, that's how they get it done.
And we'll find out here soon enough whether those adjustments are enough defensively. They'll come up now on 2nd and a yard.
They'll run. It's Dorsett. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49.
That one a first down pickup of 8.
He's had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down.
Play action. It's Aikman.
Over the middle, Dorsett.
And they're going to get this to about the 44-yard line.
All defenses worry that whenever anyone catches the ball and has a head of steam come out of the backfield, it could turn into a big play with missed tackles or he runs through people. But they were right there waiting, and they stopped him for a minimal gain.
Now it's Dorsett. 2 yards the gain there, and now they're left with a 3rd and about 4 for a first. Now it's Aikman. Dorsett's got it. And he'll be out just a yard or 2 shy of the 30. 11 yards and a Cowboy first down. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
A handoff to Smith. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown. So a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, hopefully get to the perimeter later. And let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on first down.
On 2nd down, Aikman. And a quick throw here, that's complete.
And he'll be marked down right at the 20-yard line.
Now flags fly in, and one of the Cowboys looked like he got going a little early.
So they accept the penalty, of course, and push the offense backwards a bit.
A false start backs him up 5. 1st and 15. From the shotgun, Aikman. And this This is caught for a Cowboy touchdown. 25 yards for the touchdown. And his guy's now an extra point away from taking a 3-score lead. And he just did get those feet in there on the side of the end zone. Well done.
Probably the exact size foot necessary, because I think if he had another half size, that catch doesn't count. And he's able to get it in, and it counts for a touchdown.
And now before we get to the extra point, remember all touchdowns do have to be confirmed by the replay official. They're taking a peek at whether or not those feet were in bounds, and obviously a big call here in the end zone.
And not just the feet. How about the hands? How is the ball possessed while the feet are hopefully getting down in bounds? That's what they're trying to look at to see if it all comes together.
So they called it a touchdown originally, and this will stay a touchdown after the video review, so they had it right.
Now the try here for the point after. And that'll make this a 3-score game as the lead moves to 17. So that drive goes 8 plays, and it's capped off with a Cowboys touchdown.
This is where you step up. Right here, baby.
Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown.
From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line.
The 49ers offense now, they work their way back onto the field.
I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
They'll start on the ground with Gore.
Knifes his way forward here, but just 3 yards on the play, 2nd down.
I think if they want to start getting back into this game, it behooves them to get better on 1st down.
Yeah, certainly not what they were looking for there out of the opening play of this drive. The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Up the middle they go. Craig. Stopped at the 24-yard line after a gain of 5.
Another modest gain there on that one, and I think, Charles, you can probably pin part of the deficit on a failure on their part to really get this ground game established.
Yeah, and they've really struggled to be multidimensional in this one, haven't they, partner, because they have to be extremely one-dimensional now if they hope to get back into this game. They'll have to do it by throwing the football and hope to have success through the air.
He finds his man complete. It's Owens. And he'll be taken down, but he does have 1st down yardage. A strong 8 yards will keep this drive rolling.
But give the defensive guys a little bit of credit. They didn't let the deep ball beat them on that play, did they?
No, the drag, that guy can be your safety valve. We saw it right there.
Yeah, and it picked up a 1st down for them, too.
From the pistol, it's Gore. And he's corralled at the 40, but not before picking up 8. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the 1st half, and that's sort of continuing here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's 2nd and a couple. Another carry now for Gore. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard on the play, so now they need 3 yards on 3rd down. that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. The offense on third down, not quite 50%, 4 for 9. Here it's 3rd and 3. To throw is Montana. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the Cowboys have recovered. Obviously, you got to hold on to the football, but I've got to give credit to the defense there. Good job of knocking it free.
Yeah, because a lot of the time we just blame the offensive players for not taking care of it. How about the effort of the defensive players knowing that guys are going to, and if they're good, anticipate the contact coming and try and cover up the football. And they still find ways to knock it free.
Montana going for it on 4th. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Niners go for it, but it doesn't work out. And Dallas, they'll take over in terrific field position. A gutsy decision there at this stage in the second half in their own territory, and a decision that they might regret.
Can't wait for the post-mortem. You know, this post-game press conference, because the questions are going to come fast and furious about this decision, no matter how the game turns out, right? What were you thinking there? Why? Did you have a certain play call? Were you confident in your defense? Oh, yeah. Why? It's going to keep coming up.
Yeah, no matter the scoreboard, just tough to justify. A first down carry for Smith. And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's 2nd down.
Well, that's a pretty good drive starter right there. And I don't know, partner, if you're even thinking about sitting on the ball right now. They may just want to run their regular offense.
In plus territory. And as an offensive coordinator, you don't want your team to go into a shell, do you?
No, you really don't. Because as soon as you take your foot off the gas, it's real hard to put it back on and mash it. Because once everyone's emotions come down, hard to start them up again. So I think he may want to keep them cranking high right here.
And he's going to have this pretty close to a first down as the tackle is made at the Niners' 18-yard line. It's a 5-yard gain, but they'll still be a yard short here with 3rd down now looming.
So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down.
They'll try and run for it with Smith. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the 4th quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
And he's maybe going to get this back to the 4, but that's about all. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd and goal.
And when the defense wins and gives up no yardage on a running play, that's something they can build on and carry themselves forward throughout the game.
Line of scrimmage, again the 4-yard line, 2nd and goal. Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. And this will be incomplete.
And when you've thrown as many interceptions as he has in this one, you definitely start getting a little hesitant to throw the ball out wide because that's prime pick 6 territory. That time, he made sure the only guy who was going to catch it was sitting in the 3rd row.
Well, they've been so good on 3rd down all day long. Can they convert another here on 3rd and goal? They're going to look to throw. The quick slant caught. They're able to hold him to 3 there, and that leads to a 4th and goal.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line, but once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
They're going on 4th down. Aikman. And that is caught. Touchdown, Cowboys. A great play there. His second touchdown of the afternoon. And the Cowboys' decision to go for it pays off with 6 points. So definitely a good day's work throwing the football. Very good day's work. A 4th touchdown pass as they're really pouring it on.
Yeah, and so much for going into clock mode after getting that touchdown, right? Because you would think with the lead, 4th quarter, they might actually do that. No chance. They've kept attacking and got another touchdown pass as a result.
Extra point right down the middle. And the lead is now 24. So that winds up a 7-play drive all told. And it culminates in a Dallas touchdown. Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown.
No run back here, down to a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. San Francisco set to go on offense once more. Charles, we know that this offense is aggressive. We saw that last drive. They went for it on 4th down, didn't get it. Then they give up the touchdown, so now you feel like they really need to respond here.
They certainly do, but let's face it. Sometimes when you take that risk, you understand if you fail, a little more onus goes back on your ball club to try and pick themselves back up.
They'll start this drive out on the ground. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Right off the bat, it's a first down to start the drive, 12 yards.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the 4th quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down 4th quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. That's a 12-yard gain now on back-to-back plays. You cannot write these guys off just yet, not with a quarterback like that under center.
You mean it actually crossed your mind with him running the team that you could actually maybe write this game off?
Not yet.
Not a chance. Not with him. We've seen it too many times.
1st and 10 for Montana and company. It's caught by Davis. And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds. So give him 5 yards there on the pitch and catch, and it's 2nd down.
How about the timing on that one? Boy, they were in sync, weren't they? 3-step drop, ball's out of his hands, right to the tight end. Nice completion, just like they do it in practice.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Montana. This one caught by Kittle. And he's going to have another first down here as the tackle's made at the Cowboys' 20-yard line. A very solid gain of 27. Well, that tight end position, it just seems to continue to evolve every year in the NFL.
Yeah, you're getting really terrific athletes. A lot of them maybe were wide receivers at one point. They continue to give you speed, great hands, and big bodies, which make them excellent targets for quarterbacks.
And he's going to push his way down to about the 12. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, gotta like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a first down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
On 2nd down, it's Craig. And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line. They got 2 of the 3 they needed there. It leaves them with 3rd and just a yard.
If they're going to get a first down out of this, they're going to have to earn it because there's been tough going in the interior there. And here we are on 3rd and 1. Be prepared. Brace yourself. Going to be some contact going on.
They will look to throw. Montana. Throw left side complete. That's Craig. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. 3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving.
Short yardage situation, you have to wonder if they thought that they were just going to run it inside. But you have to be cognizant of the back slipping out of the backfield trying to find some open space. And that's exactly what he does to the tune of a first down.
Able to slither by. A pickup of 4 on first down. It'll be 2nd and goal.
That's good power football on 1st and goal. A lot of teams will throw from there. But that's a nice job to chew up a few more yards and get yourself closer to the goal line.
So they've been in the red zone 3 times, and it's yielded just 3 points. Can they find the end zone here on 2nd and goal?
Gore is in. Touchdown 49ers.
Did my eyes deceive me, or was that an I formation play that was just run there for a touchdown?
Little old school eye.
How about that? Was that a fullback, tailback, running it into the end zone?
Well, that's what that fullback's for, right? That's why you use that. Let him pave the way.
Oh, without a doubt. He's an extra blocker, and he did his job well on that play.
Montana, he's got it. So they convert the 2. That keeps their slim hopes alive as we're back to a 2-score game. Well, it's still an uphill battle from here, that's for sure, but that makes it a 2-score game.
And now we see why teams practice so much on the 2-point conversion, why you have more than one play ready, because you may need multiples to throw out a ball game. There's a great example right there.
The 49ers ready to kick it away, and here we go.
And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And he'll be brought down shy of the 20, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone, not a good one.
So out come the Cowboys now as their offense gets set to take over. This game was really a tussle, seemed like just a moment ago, and now they've got the momentum. A couple of scores on their last pair of drives and a 2-score lead. I think here now you go conservative, right? Run the football, work the clock.
You know, I usually agree with you, but I'm going after them right here. I want to put this bad boy away. I wouldn't be afraid to throw it. They've got all the confidence, all the momentum on their side. Go ahead and take your dagger shots and try and finish this one off.
I disagree vehemently. I say run the football. You've got the lead.
Well, let's watch it and find out who's right.
And he'll get this up to the 30-yard line. Nice way to start the drive, a gain of 12 and a first down.
Well, how about this aggressive approach? Got the lead, 4th quarter, continuing to throw the football. Are you thinking about Super Bowl 51? Atlanta had the lead against New England, and they ended up giving it up?
I was going to say don't say it, but you did say it.
I did, didn't I?
Yeah, anybody watching Atlanta, our apologies. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Smith up the middle. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up. The recipe's pretty simple, I think, right? Just give your superstar the ball, continue to feed him.
Yeah, don't overthink this one, right? Make sure he's touching the football, but you're also counting on his intelligence in playing the game as well. If it's not there, don't force the run. Just make sure you hang on to the football and keep the clock ticking.
On 2nd down, here's Smith again.
And a loose football. And now this is scooped up by the 49ers. And they take possession 2 yards away from midfield at the 48-yard line.
Partner, that one looked like it was over. I mean, they had control, had the football, and the defense had to make a play in order to keep them in the game. That's exactly what they did.
And now that door ajar, 2-score game, so hold on here, not done in the 4th.
The Niners set to take over on offense. They trail by 2 scores in the 4th, and their defense did its job getting the fumble recovery. Time to see what this offense has left in the tank.
On 1st down, Montana. Looking sideline, and he's going to have his man as he was able to walk the tightrope there for the completion. It'll be a gain of 5. And it'll be second down. A good start there on this fourth quarter drive. They need more of what we just saw.
Down a couple of scores. There's still time, all right? It's not like, they're totally out of it, but they have to score quickly, and they're going to need some big-time plays, chunk plays, explosive plays. They need yardage on each snap.
And it's complete over the middle to Clark.
And he's going to be taken down just shy of the 35. Well, CD, that helps the home team as they try to erase this deficit, give them the penalty for pass interference on the defense.
Yeah, and they certainly haven't been happy with what they've seen so far, have they? They're certainly hoping that that call now might get the fans back into this one.
Montana's throw going to be caught by Davis.
And he gets this down inside the 35 before going out of bounds. Call it a gain of 3 on the play, and it'll be second down.
Got to give credit where it's due. Really nice defense on that play. The pitch and catch was successful, but not any run after it.
Throwing again on second down. Montana drops it underneath to Gore. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. The Niners have the first down on a gain of 11. But correct me if I'm wrong. You're down 2 scores. I don't think you need to rush just yet, but you can't take your time either.
Yeah, even if you don't want to commit to full 2-minute offense, you have to up the tempo, up the urgency. Maybe you're starting to call 2 plays in a huddle each time you snap the ball.
Montana. He finds his man complete. That's Craig.
And he's brought down here just outside of the 20.
The key to any screen play is all in the deception, and that means everyone on the offensive side of the ball. But someone gave it up because that one wasn't very well concealed. And the defense able to rally to him and hold him for just a short gain.
To throw again on second down.
Montana. Kittle catching the slant.
And he's going to have a gain of 11 to the 11 before he's brought down. First and 10.
Good yardage on the completion there. When they look at the scoreboard, they do understand a field goal is not going to do them any good. My guess, they're going to press the ball downfield as far as possible, try and throw it into the end zone and get a score because they know they've got to get that done and get the ball back as quickly as possible.
And it's intercepted at the goal line.
And the Cowboys are going to have it here at their own 9-yard line. But here in the fourth quarter, defensively, you know that you're just going to blanket the field with defensive backs and say, okay, take your best shot. And that time, it's intercepted.
And we've often seen teams go into the prevent early, way too early, and sometimes they get too soft in their coverages, but not in this case. They understood the situation and played it with the proper aggression.
Dallas offense set for this next drive.
Turnover that just got him the football back, obviously a big one, because had they been able to score on the other side, this would have been a one-possession game.
So you don't sense full relief here then?
No, I don't, especially with the ball this deep in their own territory, because you make a mistake, they've got it right back in prime position.
They certainly do. So now, almost like almost like a 4-minute offense, right? Take care of this bad boy. Make sure the other team doesn't touch it, but move it with consistent gains. Wear down the clock and make them use their timeouts in this situation.
He'll be upended at the 18. That's a very helpful pickup of 9 after the play began at the 9. Got to figure now, after getting that turnover, they're just going to be happy to keep the ball on the ground, right?
This is where covering the football, taking care of the ball, all the ball security terms that have ever been used, they come into play for the guys on offense right now. Just take care of it, and they've got a good chance of ending up winning this game.
2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So the Cowboys in possession of the football here as we get you reset. And the scoreboard on their side, they're just looking to melt away these final couple of minutes and put this one in the left-hand column. And now right out of the 2-minute break, we'll get a timeout used defensively with 1:56 to go. Here's Smith as he'll try to run some clock.
And a short pickup to about the 25.
Now the Niners going to signal for their third and final timeout. And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. This, in all probability, another run here on 2nd and 8. Again, it's Smith.
And this is going to be a Cowboys first down as he'll take this up to about the 33-yard line.
I have to chuckle to myself a little bit, Brandon, because right now I could be in that huddle with that offensive line. I know exactly what they're saying. If you call a pass play here, we're going to call a timeout. Run the football. We've got control of this thing. Get him behind us and let's go.
Their time to shine. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. The Cowboys on their way to victory as they take a knee. So he'll take a knee here to wrap this one up, and he's going to want to keep that game ball. He was sensational.
Yeah, it's fun to kneel down in front of your home crowd, but when you go on the road, that band of brothers attitude, right, just us against the world, and get it done, how happy are they?
I remember a coach at a previous stop telling me, you get a win on the road, doesn't matter the opponent, get out of there like you stole something. And they did in this one.
Well, this was a very close ball game at halftime, Charles, but in the second half, that offense kind of kicked things into another gear, and they were able to pull away for the victory.
And Brandon, I think they're the type of team that just looked in the mirror and said, hey, ton of pressure on, but we're the type of team that can flat out handle it. They stood up with confidence, and made it happen for a victory.